What's going on, guys? It's Joel here with as many reviews as possible, and today we're doing the review of the Adidas Power Perfect 3s. Alright, so I don't have any experience with any of the previous Power Perfects, but the Powerlift trainers were actually my very first weightlifting shoe. I tried the first ones, I tried the third ones. A lot of design cues remain the same between the Powerlifts and the Power Perfects. The big one being the EVA constructed heel. Now that's probably going to be the most taboo subject on this shoe, and we'll get back to that one later and why I think that really does not matter at all. The next similarity between both of the shoes is going to be the upper. They're fairly reminiscent of each other. They both sport a synthetic leather upper, which has a more basic look to it. At least the original Powerlifts did. The later on ones got a little bit crazy, but the Power Perfect 3s brings back that simplicity, and I actually think that this is a really good looking shoe. Now, the first topic that we're going to go over is going to be the build quality and construction of the Power Perfect 3s, where I give this shoe a perfect 6 out of 6. Like I said, it's got that synthetic leather upper that does not feel cheap, even though it is a synthetic material. It has a high quality look to it. It's got the Adidas 3 stripes now printed on as more of an overlay style detail. The biggest change to the construction of the Power Perfects is definitely going to be the ballistic mesh toe box that extends all the way up into the tongue. It's actually made of the same material, and it just goes all the way down from the tongue to the toe. In the front of the toe, there's a little bit of a PU overlay to give you a little bit more protection on the toe area of the shoe. The heel has somewhat of a heel cup, heel counter, but it's more of just another overlay. Overall, the whole upper of the Power Perfect 3s, it has a lot less seams than the Power Perfect 2s did, which gives it a more minimalist look, and in my opinion looks a little bit more high quality. There are a few leather bits to the upper, one being the medial strap, which is located a little bit higher up on the shoe. The other is going to be a little leather detail that's sewed on at the back of the shoe that just has the Adidas logo on it. It's a small detail, but it gives the shoe a much more high quality look. Now back to the heel of the shoe, which, like I said before, is going to be the most taboo subject of the Power Perfect 3s. Now I say that because it is made from EVA foam, which technically is compressible, but if you watch the Olympics, you still see people lifting in Power Perfect 2s, and they're at the height of the game. That is the highest level that you can get to, and if it's good enough for them, it's probably going to be good enough for most of you guys out there. Now, every material is compressible to some degree. TPU, leather, wood, doesn't matter. They're all compressible to some kind of degree. Now, this might be the softest one, but I've actually had TPU heels that compressed more than the heel on the Power Perfect 3s do. So, if I were you, I would not worry about it. The outsole of the Power Perfect 3s looks like it's exactly the same one that's carried over from the Power Perfect 2s, which in my opinion is a good thing. I never had any issues with traction of the outsole of the Power Perfect 3s, even lifting on dusty rubber mats. So there's no actual information out there about the real drop of the shoe, but just measuring it, the heel comes out at 1 1/4 inches, and the toe part of the shoe is about 1/2 inch. So it equates to about 3/4 inch. If we look at the next closest shoe, which is going to be the Adidas Drekhaft, the heel lift on that is going to be 21.2 millimeters, and the total heel height on that is going to be 37.9 millimeters. I'm assuming that they're the same. Alright, moving on to the next subject, and that's going to be fit, where I give the Power Perfects a 5 out of 6. Now, I ding them a point because these shoes run really, really big. Originally, I bought them in a size 10. I wear a size 10 in my lice tongues, and these were a full size big on me. Even with the 9.5, they're still big on me. Now, there's a lot of room in the toe box. Generally, this is a wider weightlifting shoe. So if you have wide flat feet, this is going to be probably the best solution out there for you. Another really nice thing that I like about this shoe is that There is no kind of contouring in the inside of the shoe. It's not really an anatomical design inside. It's just really flat and plain inside of the Power Perfect 3s. Now, if you've got a narrow foot, you might find that your feet are going to be swimming around in these shoes, but I think normal to wide feet people are going to like these a whole lot. The lacing configuration on these shoes is mainly plain and just the normal standard lacing. There's nothing fancy about it, but it does a really good job of giving you a lockdown fit. And since the medial strap is located a little bit further up on the shoe, it really holds your foot into place, doesn't allow it to slide forward like on other higher heeled weightlifting shoes. So I really actually like the fit of this shoe, other than the fact that it does run really, really big. Now, probably the best feature of the Adidas Power Perfect 3s is going to be their flexibility and comfort for a weightlifting shoe. So I'm going to give these shoes a 5.5 out of 6. These are some of the most flexible weightlifting shoes, mainly due to that mesh material at the upper of the shoe. Now, the outsole and midsole of this shoe are like pretty much all other weightlifting shoes. There's not a whole lot of flex in them, and you really wouldn't want that, but there is enough flex at the toe area of the shoe to make these shoes comfortable enough to do things like split jerks in. And even if you were to really want to do like a light WOD where there's just weightlifting and maybe a little bit of banding, you could probably do them comfortably enough in the Power Perfect 3s. The interior of the shoe doesn't have a lot of cushioning, but you know, it's a weightlifting shoe and you really wouldn't want that anyways. Overall, for what they are, I'm going to say that these are one of the more flexible and comfortable weightlifting shoes. They're also fairly lightweight as well. Now, since these are one of the more flexible weightlifting shoes, you have to give up a little bit of stability to go with that. So for the stability of these shoes, I rated them at a 4.5 out of 6. Now, if you can get your feet planted and just go at it, like if you're just squatting, front squats, back squats, all really stable to do in the Power Perfect 3s. The one movement that I had a little bit of trouble doing in the Power Perfect 3s was snatching. The forward and backward stability of this shoe is not the greatest. The lateral stability is not too bad, but there's no kind of like external heel counter. There's no heel cup or any kind of lateral support in the shoe. It's really just the upper of the shoe that's holding you in place. So the overall stability of these shoes is not going to be as good as, say, the Lightstongue 2s, the Adi Powers, that all have some kind of lateral support and some kind of heel cup. But overall, I think they're going to be plenty stable for most people. But if you're looking for just a squat shoe, the Power Perfect 3s are an excellent pair of shoes. Just make sure you can get your feet planted. Now, the last topic that we're going to talk about is value, in which I give these shoes a perfect 6 out of 6. These shoes only cost $130 and they perform like a shoe that costs double. These are really, really good weightlifting shoes, especially for the money. I'd say you'd be hard pressed to find anything that performs even remotely close to as good as the Power Perfect 3s in the $100 to $150 price range. Now, are they going to be better than some of the top shelf weightlifting shoes like the Lightstongue, the Adi Powers, Romaleos, or the Legacy Lifters? I'm going to say no, but they also don't cost nearly as much as well. You can also find these at a little bit of a discount if you do your shopping around. I got these from Roadrunner Sports and they regularly have like 20% off, 25% off. So these costed only $100 when I bought them. For $100, these are a no-brainer if you're looking for an inexpensive pair of weightlifting shoes, squat shoes. You didn't want to break the bank. You wanted something a little bit more minimal. I can't really think of anything better than the Adidas Power Perfect 3s. These are a really, really good pair of weightlifting shoes. So overall, the Power Perfect 3s get a 27 out of 30, which is going to get my highly recommended to must-buy rating. Like I said, these are some of the best weightlifting shoes for the money. They're an excellent pair of shoes if you're just looking to do squats in. If you're looking for a Olympic weightlifting shoe to do cleans, jerks, snatches in, they're a really good pair for the money. and I don't think you're gonna find anything close to the performance for price ratio. If you have a wide, flat foot, there's nothing better than the Power Perfect 3s. Overall, I really like these shoes, and I can't recommend them enough. If you guys have any questions about the Power Perfect 3s, feel free to leave them in the comment section. And as always guys, please hit that like button, subscribe, and thanks for watching.